send or spend multiple currencies around the world whenever you want with no HSBC fees. So you'll be right as rain, as they say in the UK. Search HSBC Global Money, HSBC UK, opening up a world of opportunity. Available to HSBC UK customers with an eligible current account and the mobile banking app. Non-HSBC fees may apply.
And welcome to the Mahtab Aziz Celebrity Lawyer Show. I hope you're well. It's Friday again, and I have a very distinguished guest today. Well, all my guests, I strive to be distinguished, but this one's extra distinguished because he's a many years called barrister. So Ravi Chandrapala.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ravi, and thank you for joining us today. I believe you're fresh out of court today. Or something.
Yes. In fact, I was working from home today.
Right, great.
I had a lot of opinions and matters to draft.
Right, good. Well, we're going to be discussing the issue of one of the issues we're going to be discussing is obviously the we've all seen the riots and the protests that have been going on, and there is actually an area of law that covers this protest law, and what's happened recently is that it's come into the news because of the what appear to be excessive sentences for people who have or were involved in the riots, and well, some politicians are saying that because of these excessive sentences, that's why we haven't seen a continuation of the far-right EDL types of protests that we saw, and many people were shocked by. So that's one aspect we're going to be discussing. And I think first let's start off with in terms of legalities, in terms of what a person can be charged with if they sort of stray from the peaceful protest. I believe that affray and rioting and public order offences are normally the ones that people get charged with if they get arrested by the police at protests. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Certainly. With regard to what has unfortunately happened in the country.
Sorry, could you just move a bit closer to the microphone, please? Just could you move a bit closer to the microphone? Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you, Ravi. Thank you. Yeah.
Unfortunately, what has happened in the recent days has caused a lot of questions.
Yes.
Around the entire situation. When one is faced with a situation as this, the police and the Crown Prosecution Service will take swift action. The police will take swift action to contain the situation and to bring a calmness. And once they are arrested, you begin to ask, what are the appropriate charges? It is correct that violent disorder was the preferred option for most of the people who participated in these protests, which flared up to violence. However, I was wondering if that was the correct charge. For the first time today, I heard that at least 2 people are charged with riot. There's a huge difference between a violent disorder and a riot. Generally, you do not see people being charged with riots. That is seldomly done because there are ramifications even for the police. If property is damaged, the responsible police authority becomes liable for damages. And I don't know if that was a consideration that was placed when selecting the charges. What I can say with confidence is this: we have a justice system second to none, brilliant. And judges will not tolerate any form of discrimination or violence because of either race, gender, color, whatever the reason. The judges will dispassionately give the sentence that is appropriate. When the judges imposed sentences of region of 3 years or at least 2 years or more, given the scenario that the court was faced with, I cannot say with my hand on my heart that they were excessive. Judges, the government, everybody wants to bring a swift end, contain the situation and complete stop. And the sentences that were imposed had the desired effect. What has happened in the recent days is very, very unfortunate. It not only created fear amongst some members of the community, but it went deeper than that. In the sense is, in the modern world, our political system is the bedrock of democracy. Our justice system is worldwide respected. And the Brits enjoyed a very fine reputation around the world, being polite, courteous, honest, tolerant, everything. What has happened in the recent days, that was eroded to a large extent by this fear, by a very, very small number of people, which is very unfortunate. And it will take a little bit of time for the world and some members of the community to gain that trust and enjoy that. What we lost by way of breaking a window or burning a police van is very trivial compared to the overall things that we lost, which are intrinsic. You cannot put a price on that. Therefore, it is absolutely right the way the learned judges dealt with the matter. In fact, I would go further. The maximum sentence for a violent disorder is 5 years. That is the maximum. So when one pleads guilty, at the earliest opportunity, they are entitled to have 1/3 of that sentence. When one receives 3 years of a sentence, what the judges are saying is, in effect, that is only 2/3. So you got to factor in another about 1.5 years into it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty huge sentence.
Yes.
What it tells me is this: the judges recognize that is the minimum that this kind of behavior deserves.
Yeah.
If they had been charged with riot under Section 1 of the Public Code Act, I think judges would have given the minimum of 5 years. Because it is sad to say that this has happened. But the question is this: is that good enough to bring this problem to an end? I believe it is not. It is a very good temporary measure to calm the whole thing down. But in order to bring more stable, long-lasting answer to the problem, what we need is reconciliation. Without which, there will be a day when they will come out, and they will come out with anger. And that anger will be against the very ethnic minorities that they demonstrated against. Therefore, what we need, yes, we need that urgent measures to contain the situation, but now to rebuild the society. That is what is needed.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm just going to go back to a few of your points. I mean, yes, you mentioned the political system, but I suppose, for instance, when we had the protest on behalf of the Palestinian people,
Sorry?
and we had government sort of minister saying that there were hate marches. So it's rather a grey area in the sense that a government could have different attitudes to different marches depending on their political affiliations. So although yes, we expect our politics to be fair, but often people feel that they've been targeted by virtue of government policy, more so than perhaps if they didn't say those things. And we also saw, in fact, certain protesters were actually arrested for having certain images on their placards. And then, of course, after that, we had the very horrific killing in Southport.
Southport, did you say? Southport.
Southport, yes. And then we had some false information being given out online, and many people attribute these far right marches to the fact that there was misinformation given out, which gave a false name as being behind those horrific killings of those 3 children. So that led to a lot of these marches, and it was, I think, very sort of a shocking experience for a lot of people because of the manner of the marches and what happened, and this sort of had a domino effect in the sense that a lot of people felt unsafe. There were many reports of people not wanting to actually leave their homes or go about their daily activities because of fear of violence. So I think these sort of things we haven't seen, for many years. If we go back to the days of the National Front and skinheads and that sort of thing, and that's probably that probably sticks in the mind of many people. But these current and latest marches and protests have certainly, brought the law into the fore, because people were saying, well, why are they able to do that? Why are they able to, cause such fear? And as you rightly, pointed out, there are different types of charges, and some of them can result in a very long sentence, and some of them result in shorter sentences, and it depends upon the defendant's involvement in what happened. I mean, say in that scenario, we've had a lot of recently sort of publicized sentencings, and we could be even able to watch the judge, deliver his sentence in some of them, and I think the thing that comes out of it is that judges are very conscious of the fact that that they need to make examples of people, and that's what's resulted in those sort of heavier sentences. And there's one particular defendant who, in fact, was accused of inciting, racial violence, because she had said that people should go out and bomb, I think I think it was bomb the mosque or set fire to the mosque. I think it was, she said, and this was regarded very seriously. She got she was a woman in her 50s. She got over 2 years in jail for that. And I think overall, it seems that the judiciary has dealt with it probably in the right way. There haven't been any sentences that people have said, "Oh, well, that's far too low" or something, or something like. Generally speaking, I think they seem to have got it right. I presume they would have consulted the sentencing guidelines, Ravi.
Of course, I mean, no judge will, in the modern day, will just pluck a number out of thin air.
Yeah.
End of the day, judges have to give reasoning,
Mm.
and they are very well trained. What I would say is this: judges can only impose a sentence that the defendant has pleaded guilty to.
Right.
And within that, the judge has to work and navigate
Yes.
to come to a decision for that particular offense.
Yes.
And I don't think judges would have batted an eyelid if some of those people who were actually charged with violent disorder, if they had been charged with riot.
Yes.
It would have just increased, because giving 3 years after a guilty plea tells me a great deal about the sentence. That's only 2/3. So you put another 1/3 on it, 1.5 years.
Yeah.
That's 4.5 years. That's a huge sentence of a 5-year maximum.
Mm. Yes.
And I'm sure that the defense solicitors, defense counsel, they welcomed the opportunity to face a violent disorder as opposed to a riot allegation. Because even within the riot allegation, you can put them in packing order. and in that order they can be sentenced accordingly. But if I recall correctly, for an allegation of riot, the minimum going is 5 years. And that is the maximum for violent disorder.
Right.
The situation is this. You talked about misinformation and how some people behaved. One got to ask why certain people behave like that. And when you look at the problem, people behave like that is because they are in fear.
Yes.
That fear could be justified or unjustified. Here it is, I would say it's very unjustified. Why are they in fear? Because of their circumstances.
Yes.
When you look at the kind of people, unfortunately, who came there,
yes,
I don't think there was a single doctor, a lawyer, accountant, an economist, or anyone like that.
Right. Yes.
Because they don't feel threatened. They are established.
Yes.
So therefore, they don't need to behave the way these people did.
Yes. Yes.
Unfortunately, the people who did participate, I would say they are from being in very difficult situations themselves. So they fear, as if the ethnic minorities are taking a slice out of their cake.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That is when you ask them why that is. Because most of them, or quite a bit of them, may well have been dependent on the nanny state for a very long time. Nothing wrong with it, provided the deserved person get it.
Yes.
Rather than just sit back and do nothing and expect everything to be given.
Absolutely. Yes, that's right. Yes.
Therefore, what we need is a situation to educate everybody.
Absolutely.
That these ethnic minorities, be it the Jewish community, the Muslim community, the Hindu community, or whatever, they are not threats. We all make a very valuable contribution to the society, and we are very proud of Britain.
Yes, that's a very good point. And we're going to have to go for a break now, Ravi, but I'm going to come back to you. That was a very good point. Just to stay with us, everyone, and we're going to discuss that after the break. Thank you.
Have you just moved to the UK? You could open an account with a bank that understands your international needs. HSBC UK are here to lend a hand, as the Brits might say. Then you can get on with doing the important stuff like setting up bills, renting a property, getting a mobile, transferring money, and coming to terms with the weather. Start today by searching HSBC bank account. HSBC UK, opening up a world of opportunity.
Minhaj Sisters UK are proud to host their biannual retreat Al Tazkiyah 2024 from the 15th of November to the 17th of November. This year, the retreat will take place in Yarnfield Training and Conference Centre at Stoke-on-Trent. We are pleased to announce that we will be joined by Dr. Ghazala Hassan Qadri, President of Minhaj Women League UK, who will be our special guest for 3 days. Join us for an inspirational and fun-packed weekend. To find out more, please visit our website www.altazkia.com.
Moving to the UK can be rather overwhelming, but moving your money doesn't have to be. With HSBC Global Money, you can convert, send, or spend multiple currencies around the world whenever you want with no HSBC fees. So you'll be right as rain, as they say in the UK. Search HSBC Global Money, HSBC UK, opening up a world of opportunity. Available to HSBC UK customers with an eligible current account and the mobile banking app. Non-HSBC fees may apply.
Nikah, talaq, counseling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification, and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. Or alternatively, call us now on 0208 257 1786.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio
on your mobile.
and online.
And welcome back to the Mahtab Aziz Celebrity Lawyer Show. We've had a very interesting discussion with a very distinguished barrister, Mr. Ravi Chandrapala. He went through the various offences that are applicable to the situations that we've seen happening in the last few weeks and days. We just most recently had some of the protesters being sentenced, and many people comment and say that that was actually quite effective in ensuring that there wasn't a repeat of the initial types of protests where we saw a lot of people from EDL, far right, waving England flags and causing a lot of people to fear for their safety. I will come back to some of the points that Ravi quite usefully mentioned, but let's just introduce our second guest. It's Mr. Shyam Batra.
Hi, Mahtab. How are you?
Shyam.
Good,
Okay?
thank you. Good.
Good to
Welcome.
see you.
See you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming on board.
No problem.
Now, Shyam, I think obviously in terms of your experience of things that have happened in London, we were discussing with Ravi earlier on that it seems like this haven't been seen for many years.
Since what? May? Theresa May's?
Yeah.
When they all went away on holiday?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was thinking more.
It's a long time.
Yeah, more in line of with the National Front and
Yes.
the days of the skinheads and the boots and so on. So, what I meant to say was that level of fear possibly hasn't been experienced by people for some time, and it's rather odd that the reason why it happened was because of misinformation given out online, and things are spread like wildfire, and before you know it, mosques were being attacked, and people were being assaulted on the street. What's your sort of view on what happens? What has happened in the last few days?
It's a difficult one because it happened very quickly. Number one. Number two, the press did not divulge the real reason. The press are far ahead of us on a lot of things most of the time. They know the information already, so they decide how they're going to play it and what they're going to say. So things like the identity of this person, what had happened, and why he did what he did should have come out immediately. Instead, it was a Muslim guy from another place, migrant, whatever you want to call it, and then people become angry because this election was wrongly called in the beginning. As this election was called, lots of people that should not have been in Parliament came in. And so therefore, the main crux of everything was migration, call it illegal immigration, migration, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we should be all having freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of speech right now, in the sense that we are guarded in what we say and how we say things. So I think people took a lot of stance in their own hands, be it bad, I'm afraid. Smashing windows, burning, trying to burn mosques, trying to burn people in their homes, other things. It's become like a third world country. I've never seen anything like this, and I was quite shocked. I was more worried about the children, the families, what is going on. We already have enough wars around the world. We don't need it here. So in essence, I think the press have got a lot to do with this. They should have dealt with this a lot smarter and quicker.
Right. No, thank you for that. That's a very insightful information there. Ravi, what's your take on what the press could have?
I actually humbly will agree to disagree.
Right.
The reason is this: whether the name is given or not, nobody should behave the way that they did behave.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
Why did they behave? People behave irrationally as they do is out of fear. Fear is unknown.
Yeah.
Becomes a problem.
I don't think this was fear. I think it's more planned.
But no. Fear for their future and the things like that.
Yes.
I don't mean fear in the sense of what is going to happen, like a fight now or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
This is what they have been fearing, or they are taking our jobs and everything.
Oh, right.
That is a major part. You're right. Yeah.
That kind of fear.
Okay. Yeah.
That kind of fear is what fueled the whole thing.
Yes.
Now look at this. We got to ask. It boils down to their opportunities, education, and the like. As I said earlier, a banker, an economist, a lawyer, doctor would not have been in that crowd.
Yes.
Okay? Doesn't matter what the color is, because they in fact will say, if foreign nationals want to come here, more the merrier. They don't feel threatened.
Yes.
The same problem with when we had Brexit. It's a fallacy. Those who come actually make a very good contribution. But there's a very, very, very small minority of people who judge rather than think.
Yes, absolutely. Can I just jump in there? I mean, that's a very valid point, because if you remember, Keir Starmer, in fact, in the run-up to the elections, blamed the Bangladeshis. He said, we blamed the Bangladeshis.
Did he?
People from Bangladesh. Yeah. He said we need to send them back. And actually, what happened was that, as it turns out, no Bangladeshis were liable for deportation. No Bangladeshis, in fact, contravened laws that would make them be sent back. So what I'm trying to say is that even politicians, even who is now the current prime minister, can give out misinformation, and this plays upon the exact fears which you mentioned. Because if he's saying, look, we've got to send all these Bangladeshis back where they come from, that is playing on those fears, because those are the very Bangladeshis that I've seen quite a few interviews of these protesters, and when they ask, they say, well, they're taking our jobs. So that actually is what you're talking about in terms of fears.
Yes, it is unfortunate if Sir Keir did say something like that. I'm surprised to hear that he would have said that.
Yes.
The point is this: we cannot resolve this problem with the force of law.
Yeah.
With the force of sentences.
Absolutely, I agree with
what we need is reconciliation, understanding.
Yes.
And it was very good the government, the judiciary, all credit to the police forces, and in particular to civilians who came to protect the minorities, what is called anti-demonstration. We owe a lot of gratitude to them and recognition.
I mean, police, incredible job.
Police
But the police have got more powers now.
Yeah.
They didn't have.
but
Now they have more power than before. Way more.
irrespective of the powers.
Well, no, it's not
But-
irrespective. They have
No.
ultimate powers now.
What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
the individuals, the civilians who came,
Yeah.
they don't have the same power as a police officer.
Yeah.
But therefore, irrespective of all that, they were there to protect.
See, we're in our country, England. We are all
Absolutely.
we live here. We're all brothers here, right?
Mm.
Whether we're black, white, or you're white.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what I'm saying
It's
is,
the filters, the filters.
what I'm saying is that you can't have. We are like living in a third world. We
Yeah.
don't do this sort of stuff. Britain's supposed to be a leading nation of many things,
Mm.
you know, and to see this type of discrimination happen after so many years. I was born here.
Yeah.
This is my country.
Mm.
Like this woman said on the social media, do you know who won the war
Mm.
in World War II? Do you know who won the war, really won the war?
Mm.
The Indians came, which is my lot.
Yeah.
1.5 million came to win the war.
Mm.
Does anybody know that?
Mm.
That's real news.
Yes.
That's supporting our country,
Mm.
us.
Yes.
And then we have always a minority of people that are always going to be disgruntled. If somebody gets murdered, if somebody gets killed, if it's a person of color that's done it, then they go mad.
Yes.
But what about when somebody else has done it? What happens then?
Let's talk about, for example, that nurse who killed several babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or that
I mean,
doctor.
No,
I can't remember the
of
name
course, there's rapists, murderers, all types who are now sitting at that man who killed those two lovely girls in the bath in a house, like killed them, actually killed them, you know, destroyed, gone.
Yes.
But we should not fight about this. We've got bigger problems on our plate. Our country is almost out of money, like everyone's saying.
Yes.
Where they seem to get it from, I have no idea. But
That's right. Yes.
everybody needs to club together
Yeah.
and bring our country back
Absolutely. And
like we used to have.
Yes.
Now, if you just take this one point that if a Bangladeshi family goes to a park
Mm.
and there are some white people there or whoever they are,
Yeah.
I don't like to say colors, okay,
Mm.
but if they're there and they start calling them names, chanting at them and that,
Yeah.
how are they going to feel?
Mm.
They're going to run back to their home. Now, there's a lot of people that living in fear, like you said, and have done things out of fear.
Yeah.
Like we still don't know the motive behind that man, boy, whatever he is, that killed those three lovely girls
Yeah.
playing in a park,
Mm.
just out of the blue. He
Yeah.
may have had a mental break, whatever. I don't know.
Mm.
But these sort of things should not happen in our streets.
Yeah.
But it also boils down to that at the time. And since Khan has been in power in London alone, there's been a lack of police everywhere.
Yes.
And people have gone
he-
absolutely
he'll-
crazy.
He'll say he wasn't given the funding for
Oh,
the place. That's his argument.
he had the ultimate power. I know
Yeah.
I know everything about the mayor of London.
Yeah.
I studied it, I understood it.
Mm.
But I know the powers he had. And at the end of the day, he could have done a lot to save people in London. And then that would have ricocheted into Birmingham, Newcastle. Why didn't it happen in Manchester? What about Birmingham? Because there's some kind of sanity going on. But when people are in power, they're careless, a lot of them.
Right.
And they need to wake up and smell the coffee because the public are not going to take it anymore. This is here at the moment.
Yeah.
And it needs, like you said, education. It needs calming down.
Mm.
People need to all club together.
Mm.
You know, everybody in this country knows an Indian, a Pakistani, a black person. They're all friends.
Yeah. And
Even Tommy Robinson says he has friends of all different colors.
Yes. But
But-
on that point, if I was sad, you probably heard yourself about that poor 11-year-old that was stabbed.
Yes, I know. I've heard
And her
again.
mother.
Yes.
And the guy, you know, there were other people there as well, but the guy who actually jumped in was actually a Pakistani security guard.
Yeah.
And then he was, you know, and also I have to say, with a lot of the press and TV coverage, initially they said the public detained the person.
Yeah, this is wrong.
It's very wrong.
Sorry, I did not hear.
Well, a lot of press
A few
coverage.
days ago, the Leicester
Yes,
Square,
Yeah. Yeah.
the Pakistani guy saved the girl.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But he's saying that the public saved
The
them as well.
the press said, "Oh, I mean, even I think ITV may have said it on their
GB News.
And then
I
they
think.
changed it later on. But
Oh, yeah.
Initially, it was that the public intervened.
Yes.
If one person single-handedly goes out and tackles that knife man,
Yeah.
it's not the public. It's just that man. He's
She
the one
would have
who's-
been dead,
Yeah,
and
she would
she's
have
from
been dead.
Australia, and a person on holiday.
Yeah, that's right.
It's-
My worry is what message are we sending? to the
Yes.
world?
Yes. Don't come here. That's what they say.
We are literally shooting our own foot.
Yes.
34 countries have said, don't go to London.
Isn't that embarrassing?
It is. And if you go, please stay in your hotels. Don't go out.
I mean, for me, that damage, that
bad.
international damage
It's
Yeah.
bad.
is phenomenal. I'll give you an example. In a way, I'm extremely grateful to the way the government, the police, everybody acted,
Yeah.
right?
No, you got to
Back in
commend them.
1983, where I come from, Sri Lanka, we had 13 army officers killed. The following morning, when the message came to Colombo, there were riots, killing people, looting, destroying them. And the government did nothing.
Just, wow.
Okay? They would have thought there's a problem brewing, bit of rioting, it will die down, and that's the end of it. The minority will keep quiet.
No.
What happened? That actually allowed LTTE to justify their action, and the world initially sympathized,
Look at Bangladesh.
right?
Similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And fast forward that several years, 1999, we had, unfortunately, the Easter bombing.
Oh, yes.
Bishop of Colombo was brilliant.
Mm.
He came and said, look, forgive everybody. We are one nation. We can resolve this and sort it out without firing a single bullet. That is what we needed. That's what we need here. And in fact, I'm so happy to have seen on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know from which part of the country that young man came from. He said during these disturbances, they actually went back to the mosque, cooked, okay, and gave the food to those protesters, okay,
That were anti.
okay, who were basically against these people,
Yeah.
and they basically made out, and eventually those very people came back to the mosque apparently, had a chat, and said, we can't talk about everything now, but we'll come back at a later date and let's have a discussion. That is the kind of a spirit.
Yeah.
That is the kind of a thing that we need in order to bring this to a resolution. Throwing the book captain
Yeah.
is a temporary measure.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
That's a
100%.
temporary measure, but it's an important measure.
No, it was important that they did something.
No. We need to contain
Yeah.
the problem at that point.
You needed to fix it then.
Then, after that, we can talk about it and go to the drawing board.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That is the state I think we should be now.
Well, yeah.
So, therefore, we should all come together.
That's what I said. We should.
We should all come together.
Yes.
Let the bygones be bygones.
Yeah. Let's move forward.
Let's move forward.
Yeah.
Let's not try to point the fingers at one another.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
It's sad what happened. Fellows, things happened.
I mean, what now should happen is if immigration and migration is a severe problem, then something should be done about it now while it's fresh. So this thing doesn't brew up again, because this thing is not going to go away in a hurry. There are very angry people now,
Yes.
even though their comrades are in prison now.
Yes.
But, you know,
I mean, sending people to prison means that what we are doing is suppressing the
we are.
problem.
Yeah.
It's just going to boil
Yeah, it is.
in the pot
Absolutely. Yes.
for a later date. to blow the lid off.
I mean, it's happening everywhere. It's a trickle effect that's going to fly across the world. Well, London has sent a message: we can do this. Your police better be ready.
Yes.
That's not the point. The point is that you've got to start using diplomacy, and you've got to start explaining the core of the problem. Let's try and fix it together. If it is illegal immigration, I mean, for example, the hotels. Do we know who are in the hotels? Everyone is saying that they are asylum seekers. They are not asylum seekers. Do you know what they are?
No.
I don't know if I should say. Well, they're people that have come in from the UN. They're here.
Right.
Single men. Where are all the wives and children in these hotels? These guys are here either to protect us or not. I don't know. There is some kind of agenda. I'm not sure of the actual true facts, but I can read between the lines. So that's why the journalists and people are saying this is two-tier policing. What is two-tier policing? Two-tier policing in their eyes means, they're preferring the Muslims against us. They're letting them go, but that's not the true effect. Yeah. There is a bigger picture here, a way, way bigger picture. The police are just doing their job to create law and order. Yeah. They have to. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, poor police officers, they got assaulted to left, right, and center.
Of course.
Yes. They don't come to work.
I know.
To get assaulted.
My friend's girlfriend is a CID officer now. She's very young, and she's never seen anything like this happen the way it has. But it is what I give them commendation because it's like amazing. Just like that Pakistani guy, they should actually do something for him. He saved that girl single-handedly. Yeah, she would have been stabbed to death.
Yes.
To tell the truth, it is true that I'm a defense counsel,
but
I have a lot of respect for the police officers.
No, I have a lot of respect.
It's very difficult.
And if I could quickly remind you of another incident, you may have heard about it, very about it. But this was like a few years ago, and what happened was there was a English, white English girl. She'd just come out of a late night club, and she was walking down the embankment. I think it was the embankment, I believe, and she unfortunately fell into the River Thames because she was too drunk. You know what she was doing. She fell into it. And there were many people milling around, and they all shouted, "Oh, look, she dropped into the river." And they're all watching it, someone taking videos and so on. Then one man got up.
Yes, he jumped into.
One man got up. He was a black African guy, and he got up and just like Superman, he just jumped in without a care in the world.
And he saved her.
Saved her, brought her back up again.
Wow.
And then he went back to his homeless spot.
Oh my!
He was a homeless guy.
Oh, wow! That's
powerful. I mean, there are angels.
Yeah.
I have to say one thing to you. I think I told you already.
Yeah.
But I was running for mayor of London, and during the time, I had some friends of mine that had Indian restaurants. So I used to say, "Give me the food. I want to go and feed the homeless." And they said, "Well, how are you going to do it?" I said, "Just don't ask questions. Give me a tray, 30, 40 chicken tikka masalas, whatever's left." So I would then go and give it to the guys, and then I used to start speaking to them and saying, "But why are you here?" I mean, a lot of them couldn't speak English, which I was angry about because I feel that some of them have come on the boat and sat there and trying to earn some money and then go. I don't know the full facts, but majority of the ones that I spoke to, a lot of them had lost their businesses, their houses. They had no clue to go to the dole office. They had no clue to even find out how I can get some money. Food bank. I mean, I didn't know about food banks for a long while. But then, when I fell in some hardship, my friend said to me, "Why don't you go to the food bank?" Well, what's a food bank? And so what I did was I had an idea and I went to them and I said, "Look, do you know that you can go to the council and say that you're homeless, you have nowhere to stay, they've got to temporarily house you somewhere. They can't just leave you on the street." "Oh, no, we don't know what to do. We're too scared to go." And I said, "Round up your guys. Let's go one day." And I took them. I took the first guy, and the lady was so rude to me in the council. I won't say which council, but in London, she was really rude to me. "Why did you bring him here? Very dirty person," and all this. Anyway. After that, I thought, you know what? Let's round up your guys. Well, there's like 49 of them. So I took them to the council, to the one place, because they were there in that area, right? And I said to the lady, these people are homeless. They have no clue about anything. They don't know that there's dole money available. They don't know that there's any welfare available. But these people were all taxpayers. You have a duty of care to look after these people over and above any person that's coming into this country right now. And so she argued with me and called the police. The police turned up and she said, you need to arrest him. He's been rude. He's brought all these people here off the street into our council. And the police guy said, and he's done a good job, hasn't he? He's brought these people here to try and help you, for you to look and see what's really happening in London. It saves our life. And you want me to arrest him? What am I arresting him for? Bringing him to a council. Has he lifted his voice? Has he hit you? Has he said anything racist to you? Anything bad? And she said, no. You said, well, do your job. He walked away. And I housed these people from the end of May. The last guy got housed about 2 weeks ago in their own place, little studio. And I showed them how to get money, universal credit, or whatever it is. I don't know what they got. They were given some money. I gave them a little bit of money myself just to help them. You know, I felt really bad. It was at least I took 49 people off the streets of London. Why should I do that job? That's not my job.
Yes, yeah,
But-
no, it is very shocking. The level of
But I felt
homelessness-
really bad, and I thought,
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
I've got my own issues and problems in life. We all have. But why should I leave these poor guys? They
Yes.
there are people that had houses, restaurants. They went out of business. The wives disappeared. The kids gone.
Yeah,
They're on crying their eyes out.
That's
Older men like us, you know, sitting there.
that's right.
What
I mean,
do I do?
yeah, that was very, very good of you, and I think that just goes back to one of the misconceptions that people have about asylum seekers. I've read it in a lot of places. People think that they get these like really good hotels, they get all sorts of benefits,
It's
but
not the
actually they
case.
don't.
No, it's not the case.
And this goes back to your point, right, where you were saying about that people feel that something is being taken away from them, and they have that.
I mean, if they were five
Yeah.
stars,
Yeah.
then you can, where are tourists going to stay then? They're not going to
Yeah.
stay with these type of people, I'm sorry to say,
Mm.
but they're not going to stay in places like that. The migrants are being processed first somewhere.
Mm.
And there is a lot of mix up and mess up of what is really happening.
That's right.
But,
I mean,
but they're all over the country. They're
Yes.
not just in London.
yeah, and they're not going to be allowed to work.
Yeah.
Then they have a pittance of a like a
40 quid a week or
Yeah,
something.
that's right.
Less than that even.
that's the reality. Whereas
That is the reality, yeah.
the people have a very much a glorified image of.
But that doesn't put them forward in front of our people who
Yeah.
have worked hard all their lives,
Yes.
taxpayers
Mm.
who found themselves in an unconfirmed position that they can't handle.
Mm.
Some of the guys were actually crying to me,
Yes.
and they all cried. They all
Yes.
took me for dinner,
Mm.
cleaned
Right,
and washed. We went. I don't know. We went to some place, some pub area,
Right.
and they bought me some food.
Yeah,
And that for me was like
Mm.
a blessing that I did something decent
Yeah.
for them.
With regard to about the state benefits that you mentioned,
This is another
I-
thing.
you said that don't put these asylum seekers in front of the local people. My humble view is this:
Yeah.
hunger is the hunger for everyone,
Mm.
whether you're an asylum seeker or whether you and I or someone else.
Yes.
Roof over our head is the same.
Yes.
They are basic human necessities.
Absolutely.
They are, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying to you is that these people had no clue.
Yeah.
Nothing. Asylum
That
seekers
is-
know why they're coming here
Mm.
as well.
At the same time, what we really need, in fact, the demographic that you mentioned, who are homeless, I don't think they actually were part of the social disturbance. There's a different group of people who actually.
They didn't exist in reality,
Okay.
but they were fair paying
Absolutely.
passengers.
So talking about the people on the street is, in my humble view, is not particularly related to this topic. The people who are really disgruntled about the immigrants, if that is what they called us, and asylum seekers.
Yeah.
There's a very, very small minority who thinks that we are taking a slice out of their cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? You ask them why. Because of insecurity. Why are they insecure? Because they cannot look after themselves.
Yeah.
Why can't they look after themselves? Because they either have very little or no skills. Why do they not have that? It's because lack of education it comes down to.
Yes.
Or some kind of a issue like that. Even if you were to take a very, very highly, unfortunately, I said, a drug addict, they would hardly will get involved in a disturbance like that. It is true that very group of people who cannot look after them are looking mainly, not everybody, mainly
Yes.
for social help. They are worried. So
Yeah.
because of that, that is what happens. So
Right.
what we do need to do is education, fundamental. Fundamental. I don't know how it will go about, but without that,
Yes.
we will have recurring problem. And the other thing is locking up people for long periods of time, large numbers,
Yeah.
that could fester
Mm.
in them when they come out.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
That
yes.
is something we have to control.
That's right. I mean, the prison system is on a breaking point at the moment.
Yeah.
Never mind the
I heard today that this one guy got 4.8 years.
I mean, never mind the.
For the right, yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
That could have been for riot.
For the right, yes.
25-year-old, another one, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right,
but
This is the very point I said earlier. If they had been charged, they would not have got 3 years.
Yeah.
They would have. I didn't know that result.
I mean, if they got community, no, look, what they did was wrong, very, very wrong.
It doesn't matter who does it.
No,
Anybody who behaves like that is wrong.
and it may have been a moment of madness because because it happened over a weekend, a period of time where, again, at that time, there was no hard rule for the police to turn up on the streets.
Yeah.
No.
Right? Because it was similar to what London was, a normal situation where they turn up or whatever. But if that was contained immediately and that was controlled definitely with the first of all, it was the marching stuff. And then it all became, that's it, we're all going to start a fight now. And then when the police came, the defense brain kicked in and said, no, we're not having this.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to do this. And
But
that.
I think no one probably envisaged the level of
No, I'm not sticking up for anyone.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm
no.
just
No,
observing
I think
what I say.
I think in terms of deployment of police officers.
Yeah.
I think it probably wasn't envisaged that there would be that much level of disruption and violence. I mean, obviously
I say this to you that I'm glad that Keir Starmer's government actually they went over and above that they should have done.
Yes.
But it sent the wrong signal out to the public now because you're kind of saying, well, you post something on social media, you're inside prison, mate. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long of a word it is, if it's classed as racism or hurt media, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
You're going to go inside for what?
Right.
Can I say this?
Absolutely. We're just going to go for a break now. Let me just go. Let's just go for a break.
Let's carry on. This is a good show.
And then, we've got a little bit of time left, so let's go for a break now.
Okay.
without realizing the risks. With modern living, our homes are fitted with more electrical appliances than ever before. Stay safe, avoid overloading sockets, unplug when not in use, and never use damaged cords. Your safety matters. For further information, please visit us on www.electricalsafetyfirst.org.uk.
Have you just moved to the UK? You could open an account with a bank that understands your international needs. HSBC UK are here to lend a hand, as the Brits might say. Then you can get on with doing the important stuff like setting up bills, renting a property, getting a mobile, transferring money, and coming to terms with the weather. Start today by searching HSBC Bank Account, HSBC UK, opening up a world of opportunity. You have to be 18 or older and eligibility criteria apply. At HSBC UK, you are backed by the current account switch guarantee.
Revive FM.
94.0. On the radio
On your mobile.
and online.
And welcome back to the Mahtab Aziz Celebrity Lawyer Show. We're having a very lively discussion here, in fact, and we may, in fact, just extend slightly over our normal time because of the importance of the issue. Sorry, Ravi. So you're about to mention about the point about education and.
I mean, the very people that everyone talks about being misled.
Yeah.
Is the very people that who are actually quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
Quite vulnerable in education and achievements, because it's very easy to mislead them.
Yes.
The situation is that without education, I don't mean just maths and English and sciences,
right,
but talking about social,
right,
it is going to be a problem. And that, coupled with opportunities where they don't feel that they are deprived, that will give them the opportunity to accept and embrace other cultures. Equally, I must say, ethnic minority cultures, whoever they are, must learn to integrate with the ethos of this country and the culture. You cannot just ignore that.
Yes.
Can't be secret.
You can't have two
segregation.
two separate
yes,
virtually countries. We got to learn to integrate.
Yes.
I can tell you very honestly, when I came to this country, my English wasn't best.
Right.
And I worked very hard, and I got to where I am now.
Okay.
Like that, people should make an effort.
I agree with you, and I also think culture. For example, I'm Indian. I don't need to wear an Indian dress or my attire. I'm in England. I live here. I think it's because, like, if you go to other countries, you respect their world.
Absolutely.
And I think people should respect even the ones that come here, that are here, that live here, should really respect the culture of our United Kingdom, because we are a vast and diversified society. Hence why we've got mosques, temples, churches, all types of denominations of creed and color here.
I mean, we are very fortunate. There is no restriction on what we can wear.
No.
That is, even in some of the Western world countries, got certain restrictions with certain religious attire. Whereas we enjoy a fantastic liberal.
This is a great country.
Brilliant.
It's amazing
Brilliant.
country. It's one of the best. It is the best country in the world. We have everything here. Even.
I mean, let me put it very bluntly. Had it not been the case that this country has been so good, so tolerant, so caring, would I have reached where I have reached?
Oh no, I think you've reached where you reached because of your determination.
Determination is not enough if you are not being given the opportunity and the support.
No, in a way, I agree with you, because when I was running for mayor, I didn't get the support that I needed
but
from.
what I'm saying is,
the
I was
roads were
given the
blocked.
opportunity, I was given the support. Yes, there were hurdles. I did face racism, and I'm a first generation person in this country.
Mm.
In that sense, I have done remarkably well, having being the first generation.
Yeah, look, it's not about that. We admire our country.
What I'm saying is this:
Yeah.
for me, like people like me to reach that status, it is because the country is so good.
Yeah.
99.9% of the
This is
recurring
why
worker,
the boat people want to
are
come.
Brilliant.
Yeah, this is why they're choosing UK instead of everywhere else, because the opportunities here are endless. And the USA, it used to be that you could come to America and it was a land of freedom, opportunity. Every ethnic minority was successful in what they did and how they did it. So same here, the UK adopted this position from a very, very long time ago. I mean, do you remember that TV show, Love Thy Neighbor?
Yes.
But this is the type of society that back in the day, there was racism as well, of course. Without the phones and everything else, there was a lot of racism in the schools and Paki and all this other stuff. And it was just not right. But I would have thought as we got older and time flew past and we got more educated with technology, social media, all these new platforms, everything's completely changed. We would at least be adapting and hoping that everyone integrates. Because if you work in a company and it's 1,000 people, they're not all British people. There's a multitude of different people from all over the world. And again, it's based on your academic workload. Whether you've been in university or whether you're a businessman out of school, amazing. You've got the opportunities there. Take them or not take them. It's your choice. But what is happening in our city, in our country right now, someone has to get together and just bring ourselves all together again, like we were.
Yes.
We were having a good time. Even after Brexit, when all this negative stuff came out, there was a lot of hate stuff going on, But doors were open.
Yeah.
Governments did that. We didn't do it. The governments did it. Tony Blair opened the door from Europe. Oh, come on in, guys. Welcome.
That's right. And the sad thing is that the politicians who play upon these fears.
And it's wrong because we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
We came here. I was born here. It's not about coming here. I am part of this country, my country.
For me, with regard to Europe, come here if that is what Mr. Blair said, I don't see that as a problem because we can also go there. In fact, I believe there is more people had gone there than people have come here.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Well,
so therefore it is not a problem. And especially to get the right caliber of the people, it's brilliant. That is how we can grow together. It is a global village.
Yeah, of course.
So because of those things, I'm not worried about if we had stayed in the EU, people could come here. That is not a problem because I think during the Brexit time, there was a report, if I recall correctly, from UCL or somewhere, saying actually the people who come here make a better contribution than what they actually take. So
Yes.
Well, it's like every country, no one wants to clean the roads. No one wants to clean the airports. Every country, people come and they work very, very hard. I'm not saying anything bad, but I think it's time that people should come together, really come and go to churches and stuff and think about God and all these other things. What signal do we send to our kids? They're growing up. They're listening to
that's
all
a very
of this.
interesting point because I remember when I first came to this country, I got the sense that people were more, shall we say, godly in those days, and they were more aware of what's right and wrong, more aware of their responsibilities.
Yes.
And gradually over time, that's being chipped away, and now you get empty churches.
Well, I don't know what happens in
Like
schools. Do
converted
they
to
have
flats.
do they have school assemblies? Like they do a little bit of God stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they do? I have no
I mean,
idea.
No, they don't. I believe
They don't do this
I,
now.
I think a lot of schools they don't do that.
I mean, you know, this every child's going to grow,
Yeah.
but the signals that are being spelt out.
Mm.
I feel. I mean, I'm a humanitarian. You know.
Yeah.
I'm part of a society. You know.
Yeah.
And my first goal is to protect our kids from everything, because with all the damage that's happening, and not only that, the carelessness, you know, children are very, very important. They're the strongest part of any economy, any world.
in fact, we are borrowing out of their future. That is
Yeah.
what we are doing.
Yeah, we're stealing their future
Yeah.
half the time.
But equally, we cannot pass the responsibility to the school. Are they having a religious? It starts from home.
No, I think we should have a say. I don't know what used to happen. They used to do Parents Association and all this big
No, they
stuff.
still have.
Yeah, but
I mean, for me, I'm fortunate.
yeah.
If you were to ask me what my religion is, I will say I'm Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Buddhist,
Same.
right?
I like
This
everybody.
morning,
Yeah.
I was born into a Buddhist family. Do you know where I was this morning? I'm very
Yeah.
proud to say. I was at the Gurdwara,
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
Which one?
Southall,
Oh, lovely.
right?
I love that place.
I don't understand what they are chanting. I
Guru
went there,
Nanak. Yeah.
went
Why
there.
Guru?
I paid my respect.
Yeah.
Right? That is where
Same. I
that
love
is
all
where I did my
religions.
meditation.
Look, this is why I didn't get involved in any of these wars. I know what's happening here and I know what's happening there, and I'm not taking any sides. I can't. And it's unfair. Despite what's going on, I just wish I could close my eyes. And not,
Fortunately,
you know,
fortunately,
there's nothing I can contribute that's going to make anything better.
fortunately, I get invited to come to the mosque, the synagogue for a bar mitzvah or something.
Yeah.
Then I go there. For me, it's brilliant.
Yeah, of course, it's different
Right.
cultures. This is what
I have
England
so
is
much
about.
That's the way it should be.
England is tolerable, but
Absolutely.
there's a minority that don't tolerate, that won't tolerate, and when they wait for something big to happen, like a mass murder or a bank robbery, I don't know, something bad that somebody from another country has done or come from another country, their ancestors, that's when it all goes up. And people who are in government right now, I don't want to mention names, but they really got to wake up, because they should never even be an MP. If they can't work with the public, everyone in Parliament, I always say member of Parliament, the name is wrong. It should be either member of the public or member of the people. What representation does a parliamentarian go? As soon as he walks into Parliament, he's now in the club.
I mean,
And that is where your segregation is starting. How does he control 49,000 people in his constituency or whatever it is, or 15,000? I mean, you can have 15,000 on your phone. How can you speak to everybody?
Yes.
If you can, then make it happen. But don't just become an MP and do nothing.
Yes. Absolutely.
And this is where it goes wrong, because these people are a flagship into government. They've got a say and they don't say. They can integrate people back into society because they represent a vast multitude.
Yeah.
And this is where I think the educationary system has completely gone wrong. I think schools should be teaching all types of languages, all types of integration with different factions, different people, and it doesn't happen.
Absolutely. I think that's very valuable. I mean, I would personally advocate, I think in schools they should have the choice of either studying, like a language like Chinese or Arabic, or because these are different cultures. By studying that language, they actually familiarize themselves with culture as well.
And I'm going
rather than saying French or German, it's also European countries. I think if they should be given that choice, that if they want to, they should.
And I want to drop a bombshell. I want to say to you, I do not think, and I think 90% of the public agree with me as parents, that government should never be running schools. No chance. They've done a bad job of it over the years and a worse job now.
I mean, in a way, those of us who are ethnic minority of certain color can easily get the opportunity to say that we are being discriminated because of the color.
Yeah.
But what I'm really concerned is sometimes you get white Caucasian people also get discriminated.
Yes.
There are
For and many reasons.
For many reasons. I feel particularly sad when I see anti-Semitic
Yeah.
things. Okay.
Well, anything
And
really. Yeah.
equally, there is a traveller community from Ireland. Sadly, they get discriminated.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. They all are part and parcel of our community. We got to embrace that.
That's right. Yeah.
And these people, the Jewish community, they have done such a tremendous amount of work, contribution to, and they are doing it. We must recognize that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people that have risen. I mean, we went to that event. There was a lot of very big people there. I mean, it's hard work. The Google guys, they work from a garage. Look at them today. Yeah. If you have that mindset to be somebody, to have something, and to give your family what they want, you can do it. Everybody has that motivation in their brain. Why they go down that road of looking at the minor things and making them blow up into a big thing? You know, like you said before, there could be a lot of people in the far right's march. How do we know that 90% of them are not on benefits?
Actually,
We don't know, but that's not a point I'm making. The point is that I'm saying to you that people have that choice of being somebody if they really want to be.
Absolutely. And it's a bit ironic in the sense that one of the biggest financial contributors to the Reform Party is actually a Muslim Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
He's an entrepreneur, done very well, in his business.
Well, he's getting something out of it.
Yeah. So he's contributing to the Reform Party. So as you said,
I don't mind Farage if he was a serious, decent person. He's always shown different colours, and he has no substance behind him. I mean, like the Reform Party made their brochure. Where are they going to get the money from? What are they going to do? What policies were they going to implement if they got into power? There's no substance there. But they're all talking about immigration. The big thing is knocking on the door, immigration. I don't even think he went to 10,000 people to speak to them, like knocking on the doors like we've all done.
Yes.
That is where it starts. And that is where you get the real heart of a person. Who are you?
Yes.
You turned up at my doorstep. Tell me what you do.
And that's all part of what we were talking about earlier. The misconceptions that get generated.
Yeah.
And another thing another misconception that actually.
I mean, he may mean good. I've got nothing against the guy.
I think we have to be. Forgive me for saying this. We have to be careful because he's not here to defend himself.
No, I'm not saying bad things.
Therefore,
I don't personally know him. I've only seen him once, but.
Yeah.
As far as what I see.
No, you're talking about the party literature. You're talking about your.
Yes. No, I'm not talking about him. I mean, look, he may have a good heart.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Reform,
I can't really say anything about him or Richard Tice or anybody that's there. But
sure,
media displays a lot of things, and it's the words you use.
Mm.
Your words carry either a bomb or a love.
Exactly, and perhaps another example of that bomb would be we're running out of time. We're going to
again
wrap up shortly. But another example of that bomb was the Asian grooming gangs or the Muslim grooming gangs. Now, I can tell you it's a fact that the largest group of pedophiles are actually white Caucasian. And this is another misconception. And even now it's used by people like Tommy Robinson.
I mean
and in actual fact, what happened actually was that there was this survey conducted in a particular part of England where the majority was ethnic minorities. So they say that when they conducted that survey, And obviously, in that part of the world, the ethnic minorities were quite a large percentage. So when they did their little figure work, and it came out that there were proportionally a lot more of the Asian, but they didn't. But later on, when they grabbed this information as fact, they didn't identify that. They didn't say it was in that locality where the say if you go to Walthamstow or Leighton, you'll see a proportionally large amount of Asian, Indian, South Indian, or Pakistani heritage people. So if someone conducts a survey there, a large part of the respondents would be of that ethnic minority. So when they conducted these surveys for this particular issue at that locality, which obviously is going to give you a very, very distorted view. But what these far right people did was they took that figure and started saying that they are the main people who do it. They're 90% is them. And it was all incorrect. It was all misinformation.
Yeah.
And not only that, but they also labeled them
who's
as
giving the misinformation?
Yeah.
Who's giving it?
That's right. Yeah, it's the same people who are behind.
I mean, the press have got a lot to answer for as well. The journalists, because they are distorting the truth a lot.
Yes.
And they should really be sticking to the script. I mean, if they had done their job in the first place, like we said, maybe the message could have come out a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And things could have been at rest.
Yeah.
A lot faster, because people were asking who is this guy? What happened? Why did this happen?
Yeah.
And then no answers. Let's go to the streets. I mean, it's the wrong thing to have done for them, because now they're facing prison.
You see, with regard to the journalists, I'm sure if they are given information, they are sometimes will be given information on the proviso that until we tell you, you cannot release.
Yeah.
So therefore, the journalists can't be blamed, to at least to a large extent, I think. Equally, the police can't be blamed because of professional operational strategies. They can't just simply give information neither. That is why I said, with or without that information, if we have an educated, socially minded, this would not have had happened.
Yeah, if it had come faster, no problem. I think it would have been just another situation.
The problem is people they want to judge rather than reason and question.
Yeah.
That is why, like the BBC actually said, question the answers.
I mean, look, the writing on the wall was that poor guy from that shop saved that Australian girl. He should have got commended seriously. He took his life in his hands. He had a guy with a knife.
Yes, absolutely.
Who stabbed the girl 8 times, apparently.
I mean, there were so many
alive.
cases where people are fearful of even like intervening or saying anything.
No, I mean, colour or not, even if it was an English guy, it should have been dealt with, commended. But to say that other people jumped in and threw him out the way, I think it's just, you see, we are not integrating. We've got to get back in, and we've got to in fact, this is a lesson that you're Muslim, you're Sri Lankan, I'm Indian. We should go to our communities, the mosques and the gurdwaras or whatever, and speak about this, because these are the guys that need to integrate to everybody and open the door, because a lot of them are closed-minded as well.
Yeah.
And so that's wrong too. So to make that first handshake step, and I think some of the best places to go are the pubs. I mean, lots of people use these pubs now. Back in the day, only people that drank beer and stuff used to go there. Everybody goes to these things.
Yeah.
But if we don't integrate, how are we going to teach our kids to integrate?
Yeah.
This is a big, big problem. And the symbol that it's showing right now, that it's okay to go on the street and smash a window and smash a hotel, it's not okay.
Yes.
It is important that educational measures need to be readdressed, re-put back onto the table. There are a lot of one-parent families. Look at the now. When I was running for mayor, quickly.
Sure. I'll quickly summarize, because I'll ask you to summarize, Shyam. Then Ravi's turn. Then we're going to.
Okay. In a nutshell, we should integrate our people into society, and I'm happy to do whatever measure there is. That people can contact me on Instagram, Shyam Batra for Mayor, on Instagram or any other channels, etc. And I'm always happy and willing to help everybody.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter who they are, what they are, any problems, but let's all get together and do it. Otherwise, without the other, we're not going to make it.
Yes. Good. Thank you. And
I'm very optimistic still.
Yeah.
I think this is a good country, brilliant, and there are angels out there.
Of course,
Right?
always.
And 99.9% recurring.
Yeah.
People are very good, very tolerant, and we can work together, we can integrate,
Yeah.
and we can build.
Yeah.
But let's forget what has happened now.
Yes.
Let's not dwell too much on it. Let's learn the lessons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's move on forward.
I think so.
Right?
Right.
For the
Yeah.
benefit of everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For the benefit of this beautiful country,
Absolutely.
that which we are proud of, and we can do very well and lead the way for other countries to
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Great. Great. No, that's great.
We run out of time
summary.
again.
Well, we run out of time. I wish we had more time, but it was a great debate, and I think some of the things that come out of it are that there are a lot of misconceptions. People feed into information very quickly, and that wrong information can lead them to do wrongful actions. As Ravi pointed out, and I have always said that we need better education. And
Yes.
the example I always give is the party of Geert Wilders, who had two of his senior chaps, in fact, left his party after they'd actually started studying the Muslim culture and how people are, and they left the party. So that's an example of how education can change people. That's one thing. And then, of course, Ravi also mentioned, and you did as well, about rehabilitation, that we can't just punish people, because when they come out, they're going to come out very angry people.
Yeah,
So
it's a little bit
that's-
harsh.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, so that needs to be addressed. And we all hope for a great and bright future. It's been great having both of you on the program. Thank you very much.
That's
And hope to be back again next week. So it's the Mahtab Aziz Celebrity Lawyer Show signing off for today. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend.